Hello, dear friend. Welcome. Wherever you are right now, perhaps curled under a warm blanket with lights dimmed low, the gentle hum of the night outside your window, the day's worry is already beginning to fade. I invite you to settle in completely. Let your shoulders soften and drop away any tension they hold. Let your breathing become slow, deep, and effortless, each inhale drawing in calm, each exhale releasing the weight of the world. Come with me now on the most peaceful, unhurried voyage across the vastness of our solar system, to the most majestic, serene, and dreamlike planet of all, the golden-ringed world we call Saturn. Close your eyes if it feels right, or simply allow your gaze to soften and drift. Far beyond the comforting warmth of our sun, at an average distance of 1,434,000,000 kilometers, there exists a planet so immense yet so ethereally light that were you to place it gently into an ocean vast enough to contain it, Saturn would float like the softest cork upon the water. This is Saturn. Tonight, we will drift beside it slowly, peacefully, allowing its pale golden light to wash over you like the gentlest lullaby carried on solar winds from across the stars. Let us begin our journey from the familiar shores of home, moving outward one gentle step at a time so your mind may follow without hurry. Picture the sun behind us now, shrinking gradually until it becomes merely a steady point of light amid the velvet black. We glide past swift Mercury, its rocky surface scorched by day and frozen by night. Past cloudy, luminous Venus with its thick, reflective veil, past our own precious blue Earth, turning slowly with its oceans and continents in quiet harmony, past the rusty red deserts of Mars, and through the silent rubble of the asteroid belt where fragments of ancient worlds drift in patient orbits. Each body we pass seems to offer a soft farewell as we venture farther into the cooler, deeper silence of the outer solar system. Now the realm of the giants begins to unfold. Jupiter appears first, its immense banded clouds swirling with the great red spot's timeless storm. But we continue onward, drawn towards something even more breathtaking, more tranquil, more otherworldly. There, just ahead in the distance, a soft golden glow begins to emerge from the darkness. At first it resembles a distant lantern hung in the endless night. As we draw nearer, the glow expands, revealing not a single light but an enormous softly orblit sphere encircled by the most elegant, shimmering rings ever sculpted by nature's patient hand. This is Saturn. Saturn came into being approximately 4.5 billion years ago, during the chaotic yet wondrous dawn of our solar system. In the vast, cold nebula of gas and dust that remained after the young sun ignited, microscopic grains of ice, rock, and metal collided gently and adhered, growing over millions upon millions of years into ever larger bodies. Because Saturn formed so far from the sun's heat, it could accrete enormous quantities of the lightest element, hydrogen and helium, that dominated the primordial cloud. Scientists now believe the process likely began with a solid core of rock and ice, perhaps 10 to 20 Earth masses, which then gravitationally captured layer after layer of gas until the planet swelled to its present grandeur. Modern interior models paint a more nuanced portrait, rather than a sharp, distinct core. Saturn likely possesses a fuzzy or diluted core, where heavier elements blend gradually into the surrounding envelope of metallic hydrogen and helium. Recent estimates place the total mass of heavy elements, everything heavier than helium, at roughly 12 to 18 Earth masses. Some sophisticated models even suggest a small, compact, rocky-iced nucleus enveloped by an extended, enriched fuzzy region. There is intriguing speculation that Saturn represents a transitional form, a gas giant that did not fully undergo runaway gas accretion like Jupiter, perhaps stalling when its core reached around 100 Earth masses before the surrounding disk dissipated. These insights arise from precise gravity field measurements taken during Cassini's final orbits, combined with advanced equations of state describing matter under the extreme pressures and temperatures deep within gas giants. In forming so grandly yet delicately, Saturn helped sculpt the architecture of the outer solar system, influencing the migration of Uranus and Neptune, shepherding icy bodies, and providing a template for the ringed exoplanets we now detect around distant stars. Saturn holds the position of sixth planet from the Sun. Its orbital path lies so far out that sunlight requires more than 80 minutes to reach the uppermost clouds. A single year on Saturn endures for 29.5 Earth years, nearly 3 full decades. So the seasons unfold with exquisite, almost imperceptible slowness, lending the world an aura of timeless patience and serenity unmatched anywhere closer to home. A Saturnian day, by contrast, passes swiftly. The planet completes one full rotation in approximately 10.7 hours. This rapid yet graceful spin causes the equator to bulge noticeably outward, flattening the poles and giving Saturn its characteristic oblate, gently squashed appearance, like an ancient spinning top that has revolved without pause across 4.5 billion years. Saturn is classified as a gas giant, composed almost entirely of hydrogen, approximately 96%, and helium approximately 3 to 4%, with only trace heavier elements. There exists no firm, walkable surface. Instead, the atmosphere transitions seamlessly through thickening layers of gas, eventually becoming liquid under crushing pressure, and deeper still, transforming into an exotic ocean of metallic hydrogen that flows and conducts electricity like a slow, shimmering sea. This metallic layer generates Saturn's powerful magnetic field, about 10 times stronger than Earth's, creating a vast magnetosphere that stretches millions of kilometers into space, capturing and channeling charged particles from the solar wind. At the planet's very heart lies a region of lingering primordial heat, slowly radiating outward after billions of years. Cloud-top temperatures hover at a peaceful -185 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze ordinary air, yet Saturn remains the least dense planet in our solar system. With a mass 95 times that of Earth, spread across a volume more than 760 times greater, its average density falls below that of water. It would float if placed in a sufficiently enormous cosmic bathtub. The upper atmosphere presents a gentle pastel palette of ammonia clouds, water ice crystals, and faint traces of hydrocarbons and phosphine, arranged in broad, subtle bands. Vast, quiet storms, some larger than Earth, drift lazily through these layers, their edges softened by high-altitude hazes. Equatorial winds race at up to 1,800 kilometers per hour, the fastest sustained winds known in the solar system. Yet from our tranquil vantage, they appear as nothing more than a soft, endless lullaby rippling across the golden face of the planet. High above the North Pole rotates one of the most extraordinary and beautiful phenomena ever observed in our solar system: the giant hexagon. This perfect six-sided jet stream, with each side stretching nearly 14,000 kilometers longer than Earth's diameter, has persisted for decades. Winds whip around its perimeter at up to 500 kilometers per hour, yet the geometric shape remains remarkably stable, likely sustained by a standing wave pattern or deep-seated vortex interaction in the atmosphere. It is a cosmic snowflake etched in clouds, turning slowly and silently in Saturn's golden sky, one of the planet's most serene and enigmatic wonders. Beneath and around this hexagon, delicate auroras shimmer in soft greens, purples, and blues. Unlike Earth's vivid displays, Saturn's auroras are primarily ultraviolet and infrared, driven by the planet's magnetic field funneling charged solar wind particles into the upper atmosphere. High-altitude winds in the thermosphere contribute to unusually bright and variable auroral activity, creating gentle, whispering curtains of light that dance against the backdrop of endless night. Now let us circle slowly, reverently, around this golden orb and behold its most celebrated treasure, the rings of Saturn. The rings extend outward more than 300,000 kilometers from the planet's cloud tops, yet their thickness averages only 10 to 30 meters in most places, thinner relative to their width than a single sheet of paper laid across a football field. From our vantage, they appear almost solid, a continuous disk of shimmering gold and silver, yet they are anything but. The rings consist of countless billions of individual icy particles, 99% pure water ice, with minute traces of rocky dust and complex organic compounds, ranging in size from microscopic grains to house-sized chunks. Each particle orbits Saturn independently, following the laws of Kepler, yet together they create the illusion of a seamless, flowing structure, forever catching faint sunlight and refracting it into delicate hues of gold, rose, pale blue, and silver. 7 principal divisions structure the rings, each with its own character and history. Closest to Saturn lies the tenuous D-ring, a faint haze of microscopic particles brushing the upper atmosphere, constantly replenished yet slowly spiraling inward to be lost. Next comes the C-ring, often called the crepe ring for its translucent, gauzy appearance, 17,000 kilometers wide, darkish, and allowing starlight to pass through like silk. The B-ring follows, the brightest, densest, and widest, at 75,000 kilometers, packed so thickly with icy chunks that it gleams like burnished gold. Within the B-ring, mysterious radial spokes occasionally form dark, rotating shadows likely caused by micron-sized dusts lofted by electrostatic forces in Saturn's magnetic field, as though the rings themselves are quietly whispering secrets across the daylight side. Dividing the B and A rings is the celebrated Cassini division, a dark gap 4,800 kilometers wide, spacious enough to swallow Earth twice over. Discovered in the 17th century by Giovanni Cassini, this gap is maintained by the gravitational resonance of the small Moon mass. The A ring lies beyond 25,000 kilometers of bright structured ice, sculpted by embedded moonlets and gravitational waves that ripple outward like water disturbed by a stone. At its center rests the narrow Encke Gap, shepherded by the tiny moonpan, whose gravity clears a path and creates delicate edge waves. Farther still stretches the narrow, braided F-ring held in dynamic tension by the shepherd moons Prometheus and Pandora, whose gravitational tugs twist and knot the icy strands into ever-changing braids and kinks, resembling a gentle celestial river forever in motion. Beyond lie the faint G-ring and the broad, diffuse E-ring, extending hundreds of thousands of kilometers and continuously replenished by icy plumes erupting from the south pole of Enceladus. The origin and age of these rings remain among planetary science's most captivating gentle mysteries. Cassini data long suggested a relatively youthful system, perhaps only 100 to 400 million years old based on the rings. Surprising cleanliness, minimal darkening from micrometeoroid bombardment and pollution. Yet recent studies 2024 to 2026 challenge this view, proposing the rings could be ancient, potentially dating back 4 to 4.5 billion years to the era of planet formation. Some models invoke efficient space weathering or self-refreshing mechanisms to preserve brightness over eons. Others link their creation to dramatic events, the tidal stripping of a differentiated icy moon during Saturn's early migration phase, or a massive collision involving protomoons that scattered debris into orbit. A February 2026 proposal even ties the rings' youth to a cataclysmic impact that reshaped Titan and the outer moon system around 400 million years ago, with fragments contributing to both the rings and the modern satellite configuration. Whether born in the solar system's violent infancy or refreshed by later cosmic drama, the rings endure as exquisite, peaceful jewelry, fragile yet enduring, a reminder of gravity's artistry and the quiet passage of deep time. While we linger among these shimmering bands, let us turn our attention to Saturn's vast and wondrous family of moons. As of the latest confirmations extending into 2026, Saturn boasts 274 known natural satellites, more than any other planet, nearly triple Jupiter's count. The dramatic increase came in March 2025, when astronomers announced 128 newly confirmed small irregular moons discovered via advanced shift and stack imaging techniques at large telescopes. Most of these faint, distant objects are rocky or icy, captured bodies remnants of the early solar systems, scattered, disorbiting in eccentric, inclined paths far from the planet. Dominating the family is Titan, Saturn's largest moon and the solar system's second largest after Ganymede. Larger than Mercury, Titan possesses a thick, nitrogen-dominated atmosphere, denser than Earth's rich in methane and ethane, shrouded in a persistent golden-orange haze of organic aerosols that blocks direct view of the surface. Beneath this veil lies a remarkably Earth-like yet alien landscape, vast hydrocarbon seas Crochan Mare. The largest exceeds the Caspian Sea in size and depth, river channels carved by methane rain, expansive equatorial dune fields of complex organics, and possible cryovolcanoes erupting ammonia water slurries. The Huygens probe's 2005 descent revealed a soft, pebble-strewn plain beside what appeared to be ancient riverbeds, evidence of liquid flow in the recent geologic past. Titan's subsurface may harbor a global water ocean beneath its icy crust, warmed by residual formation heat and tidal forces. raising tantalizing questions about prebiotic chemistry in its thick atmosphere and hidden seas. Enceladus follows as one of the most astonishing small worlds anywhere. Only 500 kilometers across and coated in brilliant white ice, this moon conceals a global subsurface ocean of salty liquid water, sustained by tidal heating from its eccentric orbit around Saturn. From 4 prominent tiger stripe fractures at the South Pole erupt towering geysers of water vapor, icy grains, salts, silica nanoparticles, hydrogen, and trace organic molecules, plumes soaring hundreds of kilometers into space and continuously feeding the diffuse E-ring. Cassini flew directly through these plumes multiple times, detecting key building blocks of life: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur, the 6 essential elements. Hydrothermal vent-like activity on the sea floor supplies heat and chemistry, making Enceladus one of the most promising sites in our solar system for potential extraterrestrial life. Floating above its hidden ocean, one can almost hear the soft, rhythmic hiss of those eternal fountains, a whisper of possibility echoing through the void. Mimas earns its nickname Death Star Moon from the gigantic Herschel crater, 1/3 the moon's diameter, whose central peak rises like a watchful eye from frozen terrain. Yet Mimas remains small and gentle, its gravity sculpting the Cassini division in the rings. A.R.T.I presents a stark two-faced puzzle. One hemisphere cold black, the other snow white, bisected by an equatorial ridge towering 20 kilometers high, possibly debris from an ancient ring collapse or massive ancient lance. Rhea, second largest, gleams with bright ice and ancient craters, exhaling a tenuous atmosphere of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Dione displays graceful ice cliffs, canyons, and wispy exospheric traces. Tethys bears the immense Odysseus crater, nearly half its width, and Ithaca Chasma, a vast trench encircling much of the moon like a frozen scar from primordial impacts. Hyperion tumbles chaotically like a porous, sponge-like potato, its deep craters giving it a honeycomb appearance and density lower than water. Phoebe, orbiting retrograde, appears dark and comet-like, a captured Kuiper belt object, whose material may have seeded the dark side of Iapetus. The remaining hundreds, many tiny and only recently confirmed moons, circling quiet, harmonious orbits. A silent symphony of 274 voices stretching across billions of kilometers. Saturn occupies a singular place in our solar system, second largest planet, foremost ring-bearer, and now undisputed king of moons. Its elaborate ring-moon disk system serves as a living laboratory for understanding gravitational dynamics, tidal evolution, ring particle physics, and satellite formation processes we observe in miniature around exoplanets. For Earth and humanity, Saturn's importance transcends the physics. Its study expands our grasp of planetary diversity, informs models of habitable zones, and fuels the search for life beyond our world. Enceladus and Titan, with their oceans and organic-rich environments, stand as prime targets for astrobiology, reminding us that life's ingredients may thrive in unexpected places. Saturn teaches patience, wonder, and humility, a reminder that even in a universe of violence and change, beauty and serenity can endure for eons. Humanity's acquaintance with Saturn stretches across millennia. Ancient observers tracked its slow, golden wander among the stars. The Babylonians recorded its motions. The Romans named it for their god of agriculture, time, and renewal, father of Jupiter. The Greeks for Cronus, embodiment of time itself. Across cultures, its steady light evoked lessons of endurance, responsibility, and quiet strength. In 1610, Galileo first glimpsed the handles or ears of the rings through his primitive telescope, though he could not comprehend their nature. Christian Huygens, in 1655, resolved the rings as a flat disk and discovered Titan. Telescopic improvements over centuries revealed divisions, spokes, and faint outer rings. The space age brought revelation. Pioneer 11's 1979 flyby offered first close views. Voyagers 1 and 2 in 1980–1981 unveiled intricate ring structure and new moons. But Cassini-Huygens, NASA, ESA, ASI transformed our understanding. Launched 1997, arriving 2004, it orbited for 13 years, completing over 200 circuits, imaging hundreds of thousands of times. It mapped the magnetic field, studied the hexagon, witnessed seasonal ring changes, and in 2005 released Huygens to land on Titan, the first soft landing on an outer solar system moon, revealing a strangely familiar yet utterly alien world. Cassini sampled Enceladus plumes directly, confirming an ocean with life's raw materials. In its grand finale in 2016–2017, it threaded daring gaps between planet and rings, measuring gravity and magnetic anomalies with unprecedented precision, before plunging deliberately into the atmosphere on September 15, 2017, vaporizing to protect the potentially habitable moons from contamination. Cassini's data archive continues yielding discoveries into 2026, refined plume organics, deeper interior models, ring mass constraints, and clues to ancient collisions. As we complete one final lingering orbit around this entire magnificent system, let us simply rest here. Feel the gentle, loving embrace of Saturn's gravity wrapping around you like the softest cosmic hug. Watch each tiny ice particle in the rings catch a fleeting gleam of sunlight before vanishing back into the eternal dance. No rush exists here. No deadlines press. Only the slow, majestic rotation of a gas giant. The quiet chorus of 274 moons. The ancient warmth of a glowing core, and the boundless patience of space itself. Allow your breathing to synchronize with Saturn's 10.7-hour rhythm. In and slowly out, calm, steady, peaceful. You float now weightless, utterly safe beside the most majestic yet gentle giant in our solar system. Whenever life grows too loud, too hurried, too heavy, return here in memory. Close your eyes and summon the golden rings stretching to infinity. Titan's orange haze veiling hydrocarbon seas. Enceladus white fountains whispering of hidden oceans. The hexagon turning silently at the pole. The vast choir of moons in harmonious motion. And the soft, enduring glow of a world that has spun peacefully across 4.5 billion years. Saturn waits, always spinning serenely, inviting us to remember that the grandest things in existence can also be the most tender. That beauty often emerges from ancient chaos through patient gravity. And that even across 1 billion kilometers of silence, wonder and peace remain within reach. Thank you for journeying with me tonight. Thank you for allowing Saturn's golden light to envelop your heart, your mind, your dreams. You are calm. You are safe. You are precisely where you need to be. When you feel ready, gently return to your room, to your bed, to the soft pillow cradling your head. Yet know that a quiet fragment of you will linger always, drifting peacefully among the shimmering rings of Saturn. Good night, dear friend. Sleep deeply. Dream of golden worlds, delicate rings, warm hidden oceans, and the quiet moons that circle forever in harmony.